So, hi Gabriel, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Katie?
Not too bad, thank you.
Good.
You played in Bristol last night. How was it? How was the kind of it received?
Well, it's a funny thing. I don't have very many fans, you see, so it's always quite an intimate affair, which I like personally, but my record company are less fond of. So it was nice last night. We had a couple of people at the front dancing who were requesting lots of songs from the first album. When we kind of disappointed them because we mainly playing material from the new release.
Yeah.
But it was nice. Bristol's a nice town, and Louisiana is a fantastic venue. I would recommend it. I think the Strokes played there when they first came to the UK, and Interpol. They had a poster for I like Interpol a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Interpol. You know that song Next Exit?
Yes. Yeah.
Classic. Classic. I pretty much have just been ripping off that song for most of my career.
You could try. So it's been quite a while since Love in Arms and Come All Sufferers. Am I right in thinking your hand was...
Yeah, my hand got crushed. I was working, in a warehouse for a man that deals in fossils and naturally occurring beautiful things like crystals and such. And I was moving this big fossilized tree. It was like this 100 million year old tree fossil, and it fell in my hand. Look, it got crushed. I nearly lost these 3 fingers, but I was very lucky.
Yeah.
It was like some 4 tons of. The number changes every time I say how many tons it was, by the way, because I have no fucking idea how much a ton is. Oh, I'm not allowed to swear on the radio, am I? Okay. And I was really lucky though, because it happened to me in the UK, and at the time of the accident and at the time of recording, there's still a National Health Service.
Yeah.
Whether or not the Tories in Birmingham at the moment are going to be dismantling it as we speak at their conference, but yeah. So I got amazing care and amazing treatment from the Royal Free Hospital in North London. It was great.
It's pretty amazing that you're back and playing.
Yeah. I mean, I was very lucky because I did nearly lose they were going to amputate my fingers originally, and that would have been a bit of a hindrance to my musicianship, I think, having 3 less fingers. But then again, you got Tony Iommi, don't you? A native son, who he famously lost the tips of 2 of his fingers and nearly half a finger in a industrial accident in a car press factory just outside of here, I believe.
Yeah.
So, and he's one of the better guitar players that there have ever been, in my opinion. So, and then look at Django Reinhardt. I can't complain. God, who am I to complain about my accident? There's all these virtuosos that have much more serious impediments than I do. So, I'm quite lucky.
Come All Sufferers it's almost like kind of quite theatrical and dynamic in some respects. There's a lot of kind of references to religion and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What kind of influence does that have? Is it like a common influence?
I think, growing up in London, in the UK, and my family dealt in ecclesiastical antiques. Actually, from my grandmother lives in near here. They had a studio, a stained glass studio called John Hardman's Studio, which is just by the Jewellery Quarter. And so when I grew up, I was surrounded by lots of churchy stuff, though I never believed in any sort of religion. I have always been interested in the stories and the literature surrounding world faiths. I find it just very interesting thing to consider. It's been such an important part in our social history. And it's sort of unavoidable. I also think that using religious imagery can sort of be like shorthand to conjure up emotions in it. There are also universal references that people get. If you reference even like Shakespeare and stuff, people don't necessarily understand the reference, but if you reference the Bible, you've got a good chance that people will know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Also, like songs on the album like Kurt and Kanye and that kind of thing, and kind of the idealism of popular figures. Does modern society and culture influence you a lot when you're writing as well?
Yeah, I think more so. I think with my first record, it was much more about more like love and more universal themes, and I think that what was important for Come All Sufferers for me was that it was from now, that it existed in the time that it existed, and that it was dated to when it was released. And so by making pop culture references, you sort of place it in time. And yeah, with a song like Kurt and Kanye, I mean, I am interested in Kanye West, and I am interested in Kurt Cobain, and that interest does bleed out into the more sort of voyeuristic celebrity culture thing, which we all unfortunately have a weird propensity to enjoy. It's not something that, like, on paper I would think, oh yeah, I love tabloids and stuff, but then I do find myself clicking the clickbait. You know, I want to know what happened. Who robbed Kim Kardashian?
Yeah.
What? Why? It was an inside job?
Yeah.
Really? Who was it? Was it Waka Flocka Flame? I don't know, but I want to know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have any bearing on my life, but somehow it seems intriguing to me, and the very fact that it's intriguing, I think, was sort of worth addressing. So that's sort of what I did with that song.
Definitely. You played at Hyde Park with Florence and the Machine, with Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar.
It was insane lineup,
oh my god, that was a crazy lineup. It was like the best lineup of all time.
Yeah.
Kendrick, Florence, Blood Orange, Kamasi Washington. It was pretty wild. Cat Power. I mean, some of my favourite artists who are working at the moment were playing in Hyde Park that day. It was really good fun. It's always a weird one in Hyde Park. I played there. That's the third time I played there. I was lucky enough to play with the Rolling Stones there, which was a bit of a trip, and with Bruce Springsteen. And they've been very different each time. But the Florence and the Machine British Summertime thing had such a great lineup. Over the years playing there, though, I've started to question the whole situation a bit more. It's become very corporate. It's Barclaycard, you know. Yeah. You have the situation where the people that have bought tickets can't even get close to the stage. The only people that can are the people that have been gifted them, and I find that a bit gross. And I also don't understand how a bank is allowed to use a public space for profit without properly maintaining the park afterwards. It seems like it's not a particularly good system at the moment. It's not like in this, you know, when the Rolling Stones originally played, and there wasn't any barriers then, you know, there was just a stage and people could come. And I think if you're using a public space for a concert, then that would probably be a better way to do it. I think on reflection, but then I guess live music these days is hard. It's a struggling thing. So maybe we should accept all the banks just taking over it.
Any albums from this year that particularly stood out? Any music that it's quite an interesting year?
It's been a good year for music, hasn't it? I mean, let's think. When did Black Star come out? This year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year.
And Untitled Unmastered came out this year. It's no Pimp Butterfly, but you know, it's notable, I would say. And what else came out this year? It's actually been a really good year. In terms of interesting singular music as well. I mean, then I think my favourite record would have to be the I think maybe Black Star actually. I liked Vulcan. The Björk album came out last year, didn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Then of course there was the Nick Cave album that was very sad. There's also sad music around, isn't there? Why are we all so sad? Brexit, fucking Brexit. I can't swear on radio.
No.
But then, what else came out? Well, did Moth Boys come out this year? Or was that last year? Well, Moth Boys number one album of the year, of course. And then, of course, Come All Sufferers by Gabriel Bruce, a classic record, entered the canon this fine year, and I mean, it's a notable year for music just for that reason, I think.
Talking about that Any plans for album 3 so far?
Yeah, I'm always writing. I've got lots of disparate ideas about what I need to do. But it's also about, I think I'm probably going to be dropped soon, so I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do about that, and then, which will be quite nice, I think, to have a bit of freedom, and then, I don't know, yeah, I think I'm going to go away and write a bit, but I quite want to do something with a group again, with not under my own name, because it's a lot of work doing it all yourself.
Yeah.
And I think I've got a bit of my egotism out of myself. I needed to indulge it for a while, but I'm feeling slightly less egotistic these days.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.